conversation that we're talking about is like my everyday. And is the doubt healthy? Uh, I don't. The doubt that's coming from me is rooted out of chaos and
Mm-hmm.
toxicity. Where does doubt come from? Does it come from a healthy place? Or does it come from fear of just not trusting something fully, not knowing how to trust something fully and completely? Welcome to Love Speak Revolution. I am Sharif Iman, and this is the amazing,
Tiana Cage.
and we have a good one today. I think they're all good, but this is I should say a challenging one because we already have a conversation about it.
We were. So we actually, this was by request, this topic. Someone had requested that we talk about doubt. But the question was like, can doubt ever be a good thing? Like, as far as doubt, if that can ever be something that helps us grow, or if doubt is something that we should be avoiding, or even sometimes, like, I think there's a tendency to feel guilty and to feel shame over doubting. So that's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about today.
Yes. We were at it. We were having a discussion from a different angle, I believe.
Yeah.
From is it wrong or right? Like you can't look at things about in the way of wrong or right necessarily. We do that a lot in society, and I think that hurts us in society more as life or death. I think God, when God is speaking, I believe that God is speaking like life or death, and even in that life or death, we see that death might not be what we think it is. Right? We got to really dig deep. So when we're talking about doubt, um, can doubt be positive? Um, I always tend to go back to the Bible, and I think that it's a natural thing. Like doubt is a natural thing. Tiana just said something that jumped out at me, and I think that doubt is all a part of life and growth. Negative or positive. Can doubt be negative or and positive? Um, I think it can be. I think like did a good question would be is before the serpent, it's did Adam and Eve doubt? Was there doubt? I don't believe there was. I believe that there was relationship. I believe. I don't know. You can't say that because then did Satan just scratch an itch that was already there in wonderment? We never know. I don't know.
When we started talking, we realized even that we may not define doubt in the same way.
Right. Right.
And then there was even an evolution where we're like, doubt is a horrible thing, and then we're like, doubt is wonderful, and then we just kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah.
But like we did start, we eventually landed on the Bible. We were talking about in the garden, thinking about Adam and Eve, because you shared. So Sharif was saying like, okay, there was doubt when they decided to listen to the serpent. I don't know if you wanted to go into that more, but my thought was doubt really the issue, or was there something like, because just because you doubt something doesn't necessarily mean that you then like do an action that is going to be like a negative one, negative for you or negative for the people around you. I think it's good to talk about this too, is because like in our culture, I think there's like this pressure, like you should always know exactly what you think, exactly what you believe, exactly what you're feeling. Like you should never doubt yourself. Like there's this feeling like that maybe if you feel doubt, that there's shame associated with that, I think sometimes, or it's like, maybe it's a symptom that I'm doing the wrong thing, or like that I'm not living in line with what I say I value, or like who I really am, if I happen to doubt, as though it's always like this negative thing. But I don't really know if that's true, because maybe it's just part of human nature to doubt.
I think that God doesn't put shame on things, and I think that there is balance. God, there's warnings, and Jesus warns about doubting, but I think there's an understanding. I think when you put shame, condemnation on doubt, that's when it becomes dangerous. I think it is human nature, whether it's fallen or whatever, it is human nature to doubt. I think doubt can be very, very dangerous if you're not in the right ecosystem and not surrounded by wisdom and knowledge to help walk you through whatever it is that you're doubting. I think that's key. It's like a gun on the table is not dangerous, or a gun, it's
probably not also very wise,
well,
depending on who's at the table.
Listen, it's not the thing itself that makes it dangerous.
Right.
It's the one who is operating it that makes it dangerous. So,
or the context of like who else is in that.
Yeah, but it's still like it's just gonna lay there. It's just gonna be there. I think in that construct, I'm just saying that doubt, outside of good, healthy relationship, is dangerous.
Yeah.
In the garden, we see that there wasn't a healthy relationship. There was not a healthy relationship between the serpent and Adam and Eve. That wasn't a healthy relationship. So that doubt caused the fall. Thank you very much.
But did the doubt cause the fall?
No. Why would you say that it didn't?
I don't think the doubt caused the fall. This is what we were talking. Because I was like, well, just because they still had choices in between the doubt and the decision that was made, like where they could have. That's what I was saying. Like there's doubt present. Okay, maybe what we thought was true is not right. But they had choices. They could have tried to go find out from someone else besides the serpent. Like maybe ask God, hey God, like this serpent told us this.
Okay, so
why we're not really sure because that's not what you said.
Okay, but let's take it even further then. The doubt caused, yes, because I believe, in my humble opinion, they were on the track of relationship with Christ, with God.
Yeah, no, you're good.
So, the serpent coming in, did God say you'll surely die? You won't surely die. He just doesn't want you to know everything because then you'll be like him. What does that do? He's withholding something from us? Doubt. That's the doubt. And then what did it lead to? It led to them going to take the fruit. So doubt is dangerous. And he used that. He didn't use anything else. He used deception and doubt.
Yeah. How do you define doubt? Anybody have any ideas on like what you think doubt actually is? Is doubt like mistrusting? Because it is hard. Like sometimes you have like mixed information, like Remy was saying. Just there's so many things now where we have to make all these decisions, even not just with faith only, but like just in life in general. Like trying to decide what's your purpose in life, trying to understand like, should I be in this relationship or should I be in this job, or all these different decisions that we have to make that have so many ramifications, and it can be really hard to know for certain like what is the path or like what we should do. And so I think like we all, at least for me, often I do doubt my choices. Sometimes I doubt things I think might be true about God, but I'm not sure. But I don't know. That's how I'm defining doubt. But maybe we're just defining it differently.
I think it just is. And what I mean by that is that doubt creates death of a thing. Whether it's you're in a hardcore relationship that's toxic and not, you're doubting it like, this might not be, and you make choices, that doubt still caused death of the thing. So it's like the sun is the sun, it warms us sometimes, but sometimes it's like 116 and it's dangerous, right? It's like, it just is. I think doubt brings the death of things, whether us trying to make it right or wrong. I think that's where we fall into, like, God doesn't operate really, like, I don't believe in right or wrong. I believe it's life or death, right? So doubt brings death
Yeah.
Whether it's a negative thing or whether you're doubting somebody at the pulpit who's not speaking truth, it's still bringing the death of a thing. So that's kind of like what I'm saying. If we begin to look at it as it brings death to a thing,
yeah,
no matter if it's a negative thing or a positive thing, it just brings death to a thing. And I think that's why Satan plagues us with doubt, because he's trying to bring death to our relationship with God. And that's what we were seeing all throughout the Bible with the disciples. They kept doubting, and Jesus was like, "Are you kidding me? Because this brings death to, like, if you can't even believe who I am right now, how are you going to handle the kingdom of heaven, right? Like, how are you going to handle where I come from and the Father himself?" Same with the Pharisees. They kept doubting him, and then he's just like, after a while, like, if you can't even see who I am, then you don't know Abraham. You don't know my Father who you say you know. It's just doubt brings death to a thing. So
yeah, Kelly, in your comment, you were saying, you'll always be wondering, questioning, learning, and doubt is a part of that. And that's kind of, from in my perspective, how I see doubt is like, I actually don't feel like I question whether you have faith if you haven't doubted. So to me, I almost see them as like parts of, like, I don't see it as a duality where it's like you either believe or you doubt. Like, I think there is those shades, like, of just like black and white, or these things that we think of opposites that, like, within the proper context, like you were saying, Sharif, like, doubt can actually strengthen faith, and faith that has, if you're thinking of doubt as far as just questioning, faith that has never been questioned, to me, is not faith. It's like blind faith, which I don't think is like true faith, But like, if you haven't questioned something, then you don't really know what you're saying you believe in, and therefore I don't really know that that's belief. That belief is a solid belief or firm belief. It's more like a brainwashing or something, So I think there are extremes. Like, I agree with you, Sharif, that if you're just constantly doubting because you haven't allowed yourself to fully see, or maybe you're not mature enough to be able to recognize the truths around you, I think that's one thing. But I think we could all probably fall into that category in different ways, because we only know in part. We will never fully understand. So I agree with you. I think what you're saying is there's a need for balance, and there's a need for discernment to happen, not just like individually, but I think that's why, like you were saying, with community, because we all have different pieces, I think, of the truth. If you surround yourself with like intentional, aware people, so that when we do have these moments of doubt, or which can be breakthroughs to then like greater understanding, greater truth, like, then we can take those moments to the people around us and be like, hey, this is where I am. Like, what are your thoughts? And really, especially if you're like me, where you're verbal processor or something, like, to get other people's perspectives can be really helpful. And then like figuring out how to contextualize like what's going on in your head. I also think, that's my last thing for now. I also think that doubt can be, if you like step back and look at like, why am I doubting this? What is it about this that is making me not believe? That those can also be like, your doubts can be windows into more fully understanding like yourself and whatever it is that the doubt is like focused on. So I think sometimes those are opportunities, just like emotions, where it's like, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now, which may or may not actually be in line with reality or truth, but at least like I am not my doubt, like I'm separate from it. So I have an opportunity in this moment to step back and question my questioning. Like, and I think that can make us stronger too. Like, it just shows the areas where we may have fear or the areas where we may have hurts. Like, sometimes our doubts could just be like windows into that.
You know, a lot of the fear, like it being fear and pain based, when it's rooted out of that, then you know, depending on the situation, you know, good things happen in destruction, right?
Yeah.
Things are destroyed, and you know, the forest burns down, just like here in Oregon. You know, the new forest grows out of it. You know, a bone breaks, it heals up and grows back even stronger. So, you know, in situations of doubt, however it comes, I still think that like it just brings death to a thing. But yeah, I agree with what you were saying. It's a Kelly. It's a part of life. You know, we're gonna doubt, and doubting doesn't scare God, and He journeys with us. And doubting, actually, when God walks with us through our doubt, makes us stronger and makes the relationship stronger.
I think there's probably also something there too. Like, I wonder what that looks like then, like when you're in human relationships and there is doubt present.
Yeah. Well, like with yeah, because there was tons of within our friendship. There was we had a long discussion yesterday, and we processed through some things. And there, like I had doubts, you know, but because of my past, and I had doubts, and you had doubts, right? So I think it's all natural, but because of I think we're healthy. We were able to sit down and be real. She shared her doubts. She allowed me to share mine, and we listened to each other. We didn't just hear and then defend ourselves. We listened to each other and got an understanding that was like, oh, well, oh, that's not where you were coming from. Oh, and that's not where you were coming from. And then, so I think there's a healthy way to like deal with doubts. I'm going to be really honest. I doubt everybody. I mean, that's just where I come from, because I was raised that I can't trust human beings, males, females. I can't trust the church. I can't trust the world. That's the life that I was raised in. But I've been walking through that, and ultimately that means I can't trust God. So this conversation that we're talking about is like my everyday, and doubting God, but He walks with me. Is the doubt healthy? The doubt that's coming from me is rooted out of chaos and toxicity. Where does doubt come from? Does it come from a healthy place? Or does it come from fear of just not trusting something fully, not knowing how to trust something fully and completely?
Well, are those the only two options?
No, not at all. No, I invite more options.
Yeah.
Those are, and that's like one side of like where I'm coming from. And I was just asking a question. I wasn't saying like, this is where it comes from and this is what it is. I was just merely like throwing stuff on the table so that we can have discussion. So
I have another one, and y'all might have other options too.
Yeah, let us know.
The one that stood out to me though is I think sometimes doubt is neither fear, or what was the other one you said? Oh, like chaos. But sometimes I think it's just because we're just ignorant, or like, I mean, we don't know. Like, there's only so much information our brains can hold, you know, and like we walk throughout this life and I'm learning new things every day, you know? So it's like sometimes my doubt really is just based in like my humanness that like really just doesn't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know.
That's what I believe that's what Kelly was talking about. And I totally agree with her. You know, like we can't understand, even biblically it says, you know, your ways are higher than our ways. You know, there's no way. So that's why I believe that God walks with us. Jesus was sent here. And we have Holy Spirit, right? And then we have each other to be able to walk through those moments of ignorance, not understanding, just not knowing. Because children, right? Children are growing and learning, and they don't know, right? They don't know,
Yeah.
they trust, but then there's sometimes when they have doubts because they don't understand, right?
Because since we have such limited experience,
right,
like we frame everything in reference to that.
Right.
Maybe that's what you meant by the chaos.
Yes. And I think the most dangerous thing is to live as if we understand everything, right? As if we know. And I think that's another place.
Then you never have doubt. And
Right.
I think in that case, you need to doubt. Like
you show me somebody that doesn't have doubt. Like, come on, people. I don't care how great of a life you have and how close to Jesus you are. Hey, that's great if you're close to the Trinity and but I just feel doubt comes to us all, and it continually comes to us all. And I think that I think Kelly was also talking about really just having doubts. How do we feel when how are you treated if you have doubts?
And how are you treating other people?
And how are you treating other people? Because it's okay, when there's doubt, I think it's okay, right? Yeah. I believe that it's okay. Like, even if it hurts, even if somebody, then I think, wow, that they're in this position and that's what they think. And I've been in some great positions where people doubt me and they think things about me, and it hurts. It really hurts. But I have to be like, okay, because of what Tiana said, they're just ignorant. They just don't know, right? Same way as God. And I think that the church has not been so good in loving that big doubt, because you're questioning authority, right?
Yeah.
That's a no-no. That's you can't do that, and you get torn apart, or you get ripped apart, or you don't get answered, or you get rejected, or you get ignored, and things just keep going on.
Or the other thing, I think was kind of being alluded to too, is that what I was referencing is sometimes I think people are threatened by doubt because if you're doubting things that they feel are like if there's pride there, like you're saying, we can never get so prideful, like Kelly was saying, that you think you know everything. But
right.
I think if you're sometimes when dealing with people who think that they do, the doubting in that circumstance is appropriate, but feels threatening, for the person who can't seem to understand why you would do that.
I think it requires a conversation. I think it really seriously requires a conversation. If you have doubts, I think that you should be able to have a conversation.
Unless it's
where
someone
you're safe.
Who's prideful like that, who's not going to listen.
Right. But I'm coming out of I'm saying from a healthy aspect that you should be able to. Will you get that? I don't know. So, but for me, having this conversation and how I am pushing to be, is that I want to be able to hear people out if they have doubts about me. If they have doubts about things, it's hard to hear. Trust me, I want to defend, and I want to be but I gotta hear people's hearts, because they might not know, and a lot of times they don't know and they don't understand. But if I can just be willing to hear what they have to say and speak with them, and hey, even on that end of it, they might not get it, and they might be prideful in what they think they see about me, right? So, but at least we're having the conversation, create a boundary, and then shake the dust off, and move. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sometimes too, though, I think some people doubt me or you. I doubt us, and we're the ones who are ignorant. So too. I think you could reverse it and be
that's good.
That's
good. Yeah.
Be open to what somebody is bringing to you, because maybe it's actually accurate, and you just can't see it yet.
Hence, people coming from the church to the to the staff or to the hierarchy, right? In that instance, having that pride, not being able to hear, or maybe sometimes there's just so much doubt and so much stuff that they just don't know how to they don't know how to what to do with all of it or where to go, because they're just ignorant, right? They don't know. I think a lot of that coming in the new season and shifting is just they don't know. But the ways the ways that we go about it are really challenging sometimes. And I like how you said there's both sides of it, right? There's not just one side. There's two sides of it. So
yeah.
We will see you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love wins. You matter. You are seen. You are heard. You are important. You are on purpose, and you are fearfully, wonderfully made. Mm-hmm. I'm Sharif Iman, and this is the amazing
Tiana Cage.
And this is Love Speak Revolution. We will see you Wednesday.
Have a good